It's a bit of a coincidence that we have this talk because the things that we do during the month come out of the chapters of the book, and we're actually in the second chapter, and we're actually in the second part of the class. And so this is I'm going to talk about this again tomorrow, but it'll be like for an hour and a half or whatever. I only get about 10 minutes tonight, but so I grabbed one slide, which I think is probably the most important slide when it comes to what we're talking about tonight. And that, we're talking about purpose, right? How do you discover your purpose, and how do you explain your purpose? How do you share your purpose? How do you come around others with your purpose? If I were to say one thing about Christian content creation that you need to get right, and earlier Warrior said something about how it's about relationships. I think see your content, whatever it is, whether it's a video or whether it's your stream or whether it's a podcast, whether it's drawing, doesn't matter. If you see it as a service, or what seculars would call adding value, then you are able to see it as in a completely different light, right? It's like, what am I supposed to do? What am I supposed to do? What am I supposed to create? How am I supposed to create? A better question is, in what way can I add value to people's life? In what way can I add value to the people that I'm trying to care for? In what way can I add value to the world through what I'm about to say? If it has no value, you're not going to care about it, and you're not going to, no matter how much effort you put into it, even if it blows up, you'd be like, well, I didn't really care about that anyway. But if you care about it, and you're putting it out there because you believe it'll make the world better, if it impacts somebody, your life will be changed. You'll feel differently about it. This slide, I'll read it to you. It says, passion is much more powerful than charisma. Passion makes up for a lack of resources. If you have passion, if you are excited about what you're doing, if you are someone who when you get on stream, or when you start drawing, or when you put yourself into the podcast, when you start writing, whatever it is, if you have passion, you actually desire what you do, it's more powerful than charisma. One of the complaints people have is like, I'm not cool enough, I'm not friendly enough, I'm not interesting enough, I don't speak well. If you care about what you're saying, if you care about what you're sharing, that is far more powerful than having some kind of, really good vocabulary, or really good at drawing people in, because people will connect to your passion as much as they to anybody's charisma. Passion also makes up for a lack of resources. You can have a jank setup. You can have not great all kinds of stuff. You can do it rarely, or even do it when you're not feeling well. But if your passion, as in like the thing that you care about most, your purpose, why you're on earth, why you create, the value you want to add to the world, if that's what's coming from you, people are going to want to come anyway, right? Even if you don't have a lot of numbers, even if you don't have the best camera, even if you don't have the best microphone, it allows people to come, and it will allow it to grow. When an outward need and an inward gift match, the influencer becomes passionate, right? When you see, what that means is, when you see what is in the world that needs changing or improving or beautifying or correcting or help, whatever the word is, and you have a gift that matches, that's where you become an influencer that can actually change the world, that can actually, really grow, because you're like, I see it, right? For me, in taco content, right? The taco came from a time where I saw that there were Christian content creators that didn't have any connection to the church. They didn't have a pastor. They didn't have like support systems. And they kept coming into my chat, and they'd say that over and over and over. Yeah, I don't really have a church. I don't really have anybody. I'm kind of alone. Didn't even know there were other Christian content creators out there. Crazy. And then my gift, which is teaching and leadership development and things like that, all of a sudden those two things connected, and I went, I can help that. I can change that. I can make the world a better place by helping that group of people. If you share your passion through your content creation, it will compel the audience to want to get more involved. If they see your content and they see that you care about what you're doing and you have a purpose for it, like you're basically going, listen, I'm creating this because I want the world to be a better place in this way. I want to create this because I want to educate, or I'm fighting against, or we need to gather these people, or whatever it is. There's a million of them. if you're creating and attached to that is something that is actually practically that you can change in the world, your audience will be compelled to want more of your content and to get involved in it. Like, how do I get people to help me, like edit videos? How do I get more audience? How do I get people to be my mod? How do I get people to, show up? How do I get collaborations? It comes from this. When you discover your passion, you don't need a bunch of anything else. What you need is to understand what you love, how you're going to change the world with it, and to be able to connect your content to it. And then people are going to come out of the woodwork because they will see you care. If you are caring about yourself, and we all know this, you caring about yourself only, as in like, I want to grow because I want to grow, I have some hole in my heart that needs to be filled with a number, then obviously you're not going to be able to connect to people on a very, meaningful level. But if you say, I'm on here for a reason, this is the reason I'm on here. This is the people I'm trying to serve. This is the problem I'm trying to solve. This is where my content is going, and this is the hope I have. Suddenly, you've got people like, let me help, right? Let me help with that, because that may not be my passion, but I see your passion. About a while back, before I, right at the beginning of my streaming career, I was going to go get a job, and because it's going to be insane to just start full-time streaming career and have no income. And so I actually applied for a job and went through the interview process, got to the end of the interview process, third interview, talking to the president of the thing. And they basically said, you're exactly who we want, but we can't hire you because your passion is clearly for this content creation stuff. She said, it would be wrong for us to take you away from that. Go do that. Right? She saw the passion oozing out of me so much that she actually denied her business and told me to go, because it was so obvious that's what I wanted to do. So how do you get your audience excited? How do you get your audience involved? How do you get to that place where people are excited to come to your stream, excited to look at your art, excited to listen to your music, excited to download your podcast? Here is the secret sauce for how you kind of build that audience. How do you connect to your audience? Number one, you share your burden, okay? Your interest, your concern. The thing that we talked about, what is it in the world that you want to change? What do you think is wrong with the world? What do you think needs to be said? Who needs to be celebrated? Who needs to be, detracted? What groups need to come together? Who's hurting that needs you or needs others or needs counsel or needs money or needs, something? What burden do you have? Like, that you think about it, keeps you up at night. It wakes you up in the morning. It makes you want to do something. When you see it, it tugs on your heartstrings. Or when you see a good thing, it's like, I want to get involved in that. What is that burden, right? You have that, you share that burden. Second, it matches your convictions. Right? It's not just something you see in the world, because everybody's like, wow, politics and also poverty and also, like racism and stuff, right? That's all bad, but it has to connect to your personal values, your personal principles, your personal beliefs, right? As in, it's something that when you look at it, it comes from inside of you. It's not merely wrong because it's wrong. It is wrong, and it means something to you because you grew up with that, or because that was a problem in your life. This is something I've said to myself, I will not be this, or I will always be this, or this is a person I will never walk past, right? Wherever that comes from, it comes from conviction. You've got this burden, you see it in the world, that needs to be changed. And when you see it, you're like, I believe very strongly in that. And if somebody challenges me, I'm going to push back. When people see that in you, that conviction, they're going to want to get invited or get excited and involved. Third, this is where the content creation comes in. If you can take your gift and you can connect it to that burden and conviction, like for example, the best I can think of is like Live Aid, right? It's like, we saw there was a big problem in ages ago, like whatever it is, Africa, or AIDS epidemic, or starvation or whatever. And they're like, okay, we believe that should change. We believe it so strongly, we're going to go there, we're going to put on a concert. And what are we going to do? What are we going to sing? Well, we sing. So we're going to sing and sing and sing and sing and sing for the sake of helping our convictions to meet that burden, right? So it doesn't need to be perfectly connected. Like, you can play a game, you can draw anything. You can sing whatever music, provided that it is somehow connected to your convictions and somehow connected to the burden you want to change, right? You can say, I do this, and I have a link that says, like, come into my Discord. We talk about this kind of stuff. It comes into my streams. It comes in occasionally, but it's really where my heart's at. Let's talk about that elsewhere. If it's connected to your gift, wow, I like that person. They're really interesting. They've got a good gift. I want to watch that more, listen to that more, see that more. But also, they're doing it for a reason, and also they want to change the world. That I want to get involved in, right? Needs. It is. In other words, it's something that connects to your circumstances, as in, like, it's something that you can change. It's something that you see. It's something that you isn't just far off into the world. It's something that's happening around you, and it's something you can put your hands on, right? You have an opportunity. There's a need, as in it's something that you've had, or you need, or you see it, and there's some desperate circumstances, and also you have an opportunity to do something. It's all well and good to be burdened and crying about and convicted about and try and talk about, whatever need, if you have absolutely no way to help, right? That's almost no purpose, because you get people excited, they get interested, they want to do stuff, and you're like, okay, what are we going to do? And you're like, we'd like to, but there's just no way to do that. It's impossible. I don't know how to do that. You have to connect it to an actual thing to get involved in, right? Whether it be, I want the art community to be more united. I want the musicians in the world to have better equipment. I want the children of the world to know the Bible better. Or I want to write stories that inspire people, so that when I inspire them, they understand courage, and in that courage, they can actually face their issues, and here's the issues I want them to face. Like, if you can connect these things in your content with your gifts, to your burdens, to your convictions, you will create an audience that is passionately following behind you, excited for where you're at, excited for what's coming next, excited for the content because they know it's connected to something meaningful. Really think about this. Really, really, really take some time to think about it. What is your burden? What are your convictions? What gift can you connect to it? What need do you see? And what opportunities do you have that you can get involved, that you can connect to the audience that you have?